Take 2. Hi, this is Shannon. This is my first video tutorial, so please bear with me. I'm going to show you today how to string wind chimes with some beads. I'm using gray thread today. It's heavier thread, it's button thread, but I usually use fishing line. And I prefer fishing line because it won't rot outside. I'm using the gray thread today for 2 reasons. One, I can't find my fishing line. And 2, you can actually see the gray thread rather than the clear fishing line. So actually, after I did a small search for the fishing line, I thought, you know what, I should probably use something with some color anyhow for demonstration purposes. If you're going to hang things inside, it really doesn't matter what you use as long as it will bear the weight of the chimes or of the glass. But if you're going to hang it outside, I really strongly suggest fishing line. I sent in your kit something a little bit thicker than what I usually use, just because that's what I happened to be using at the time. You don't need to use anything that thick in general. You can use much thinner fishing line, but you know, it can't hurt to have extra weight bearing abilities, I suppose. All right, so here we have, let me first say that we're in my living room. We are so not in my lair because there's no flat surface that isn't covered with something that doesn't need to be seen. Most of it is frit, which is dried ground glass, which comes off the glass grinder, and I am highly amused by the fact that it's called frit, because then I get to say, oh my god, there's frit all over the wall. I've got frit in my eye. What the frit? So I'm going to spare you the frit. And so we're in my living room. I'm not usually this organized, so don't let me fool you. And I'm usually sitting on the floor, which I actually am. I'm sitting on the floor. But I usually have all my stuff on the floor in front of me. It's not actually nicely arranged on a table on a cloth. So this is all for your benefit. I also have, so let me show you what I have here. Well, first we have a kitty cat that is going to walk across. Say hello, kitty cat. Hello, kitty cat. I have wind chimes, as you can see. And I have, I'm sorry for the shadow, there we go. We've got the wind chimes. I have the gray thread. This is just on a bobbin. Like I said, this is heavier thread than usual, so you'll be able to see it. Some glass beads and a pair of really ridiculously large scissors to cut the thread with. I usually just bite it, but then my mother gets mad at me. I'm 42 years old. My mother still yells at me and says, Shannon, your braces were expensive. Don't bite things off like that. So I'm not going to teach you bad manners and bad habits. So what we're going to do, and let me see if I can set this camera or the phone so that I can do this for you. What we're going to do right here is, let me see what I can do here. Hello. Yeah, you're still with me. Okay, we're going to take a chime. See, it's already got the hole pre-drilled. We're going to put it to the side. We're going to take some string, some thread. And you don't need a ton. You know, you're not going to hang the wind chimes down super low. So just judge. You don't want to cut it too short because you want plenty of room to tie a knot as well. And you also want room to be able to put your beads on. So, you know, use your judgment. I double it, just like you're going to thread a needle or like you threaded a needle. So the 2 ends are there. With fishing line, you don't need to lick it, but, you know, I'm also a seamstress, so I always put thread in my mouth. And you just poke it through the little hole, both ends. Now what you're going to find is that you have a loop at your end still, at the other end. Do you see? Because you doubled it over. So you're going to take this, try, and I hope that you can see. So you have the 2 ends. This end has the loop on it still. You're going to put this through here, just like that. And then I just tie a regular old knot. Just, I guess it's a square knot. So it doesn't shift. There is no right or wrong. If you can get the thread through the hole in the glass and tie a knot, you're good. I double it because that's just how I do it. It doesn't mean that that's the gold standard or the right way, but that's my way. And now it's just as easy as putting some beads on. You can pick whatever colors you want, obviously. I tried to include a pretty decent selection for you. And so, if I can find the hole, because I'm old and blind. Let's see. Well, that's easier said than done, isn't it? Well, this is embarrassing. There we go. So you just thread them on. I do it through both pieces of thread at the same time, or allegedly I do. This time I did not. Oh, I was going to mention also that I don't usually look this bad, but that would actually be a vicious lie. I actually look worse. I put makeup on for you. There you go. Anyhow, you put both ends through. You bring it down to the end. You know, you can put several on. You can put one on. You can knot them in between. You can not knot them in between. But definitely when you're finished beading, I tie another square knot at the top. After that, it's exactly the same thing. You do that with all of the chimes. And then once you're done stringing the chimes, you just tie them onto whatever you're going to hang them from. In your case, it's the pieces of glass with the jump rings on them. All it is threading the thread through the jump ring and tying it off. If you want to put a little bit of glue on them, it certainly can't hurt. Especially with fishing line, I tend to use E6000. I like any non-water soluble glue will do fine. Elmer's will certainly do for the short term, but if you find, I've never had anything come untied either though, so it's probably not necessary. I'm sure it's not necessary, but it also can't hurt, and I am a big fan of doing things that can't hurt. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope that this helps. And if not, obviously, let me know. But I figured that this would be a little more self-explanatory, or a little more clear than me trying to explain it over the phone, especially with kids in the background. So have a great vacation. Enjoy yourselves, and I would love to see your finished project. Thanks. Have a good day, guys.